Alright everyone, I do apologise if this video comes across as a little reactionary, but I do genuinely believe that Crossbows could be coming into a little bit of bother sometime soon. Maybe not be now, it could be in a couple of months, maybe even years. I've noticed a trend in the media lately. There was recently an inquiry after a woman was murdered. I believe she was killed by some absolute nutter with an axe, and he then shot her in the head with a crossbow just for the hell of it, you know. So that happened. The family obviously distraught, and you can sympathise with them. This inquiry called for tougher legislation surrounding crossbows. Whether that includes a licence or a ban, I'm not entirely sure. It could quite literally go either way, but if I was to put money on it, I would assume a ban, because, you know, that gets votes, that gets attention. The Guardian then published this story. The Guardian told me the sky was blue, I would go out to check. One thing I can't deny about The Guardian though, they are very influential readers who are very active on social media. So they did push this story, it got shared around quite a lot. Now normally if it was just one paper publishing it on its own, not so much of a concern, it tends to get swept under the rug. A couple of days later The Sun published pretty much the same thing. The Guardian and The Sun are pretty much completely opposite on the political spectrum. The Sun sort of tends to head towards the right, you know, with the current Conservative government. The Guardian is left to far left, you know, especially with its student writers and whatnot. Now, the fact that these two are pretty much co-writing this article together, these two papers, it does bring some concern, because the story in The Sun very briefly mentions what happens to the family, and then immediately jumps into how the family have supposedly called for tougher regulations surrounding, you know, for crossbows, for laws around them. Now, I don't want to be labelled a conspiracy theorist, and of course my deepest sympathies do go out for the family, but if your family member had just been murdered by someone with an axe, and yes, a crossbow might have been used in the attack at some stage, my first line of thought is not going to be, right, immediately I want legislations on crossbows so this doesn't happen again. I am sorry to say it, but this would have happened regardless as to whether crossbows are legal or not. The man had an axe, he was committed to do what he was going to do, he was a complete nutter. I don't think there would have been much that could change this. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if any other papers pick this up in the next couple of days, but this inquiry does seem to be quite prominent and it is getting shared around. There is obviously, as I say, at this moment in time, there is no mention, like in the government officially, of any, you know, licensing schemes for crossbows or bans. However, the Shadow Home Secretary, they have also agreed that there needs to be tighter legislation around crossbows. So just be aware, I'm not making this to cause people to go out and panic and buy out all the crossbows and all the accessories. I mean, to be honest, crossbow stock hasn't really recovered, you know, since the pandemic, because for whatever reason they just completely sold out. The prices doubled, tripled even sometimes. But yeah, I just want making this video so you're aware of what's happening, and just to keep your eye out on the news, because there could very well soon be a call for action, you know, to lobby your local MP to tell them the importance of crossbows, how they're an entry-level point for people, you know, to get into archery in the back garden. But yeah, I'm just making this video just so you're aware of what's going on, and hopefully, you know, it doesn't rear its head again soon. Cheers for watching.